All right, we're going to look at the difference between controlling and correcting, right? So when a horse is this is a 3-year-old horse, he's a little bit of a nudge. When we think about controlling behavior that we don't want, we're not only thinking about correcting, but we're sort of, in a sense, trying to tell them what to do, right? So controlling is where we try to hold every step, keep their head there, never allow a mistake, or if he turns away, like the more I try to control what he's doing, the more pressure he feels all the time. When we talk about supporting or correcting, in your own mind, you have to give up control before you can give support, right? So if this behavior is bothering me, then obviously he needs to learn a new behavior. I don't need to control the behavior I don't want and try to make him do what I want. I need him to learn a new skill, overcome his instinct, and learn the skill of being a quiet, domestic horse, right? So when I'm correcting, first of all, I need a goal. So my first goal is I need to teach this horse a little bit about mutual respect for personal space. He has a tendency to not really control his body and invade the space or push on the human a little bit. So he's going to learn his boundaries on mutually respectful personal space. And as a young horse, we're going to work on also at the same time the lesson of focusing on one thing instead of the instinct of focusing on many things that is a natural horse instinct. So if I don't control, I have to wait for the mistake. Then my correction is basically communicating to him non-verbally, don't do that. So if he looks away, I'm going to give him a correction. When he chooses to focus, I'm going to do nothing and he gets no pressure. If he pushes on my personal space, I'm going to set a boundary. It's not a punishment. It's an impersonal boundary that defines my personal space. If I don't set that boundary, how would he see the invisible line where I feel safe, right? So just like with the stand your ground hand grazing, now we're in closer proximity. He's learning to stand still and focus on the human. So there where he makes a mistake, it was a big mistake, I make a big correction, kind of get him back on the mats, get his body straightened up, right? And say, no, don't do that. As long as I'm active, what the horse is hearing from us is no, 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 no. When I'm passive, the horse hears yes, 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 yes. So if I don't correct that looking away, then in his mind, I said yes, right? If I'm holding him here, applying pressure while he's doing what I want, then he still thinks he's not doing the right thing. So when we release the correction, we say, yes, do that. When we give the correction or increase pressure, we're saying, no, don't do that, right? So right now, he's doing the job of standing still. His head and neck are straight. He's not in my personal space, which is arm's length. And he's pretty well focused, especially for a 3-year-old. So in that moment, I do nothing. The doing of the nothing is the reward, right? Then I have to wait until he can accept the job, which means he can do the job, focus on me, keep the feet still, understand that he can't go away and he can't come too much towards, that he has his space, he has his dance space, I have my dance space. That's mutual respect, right? That's a learned skill for every horse. So if I'm correcting rather than controlling, I could release quickly because I don't mind the mistakes. He's a baby, he's going to make 10 million mistakes. That's how he learns. I'm going to make 10 million consistent corrections. As soon as he does something and I go, yeah, that's sort of okay, then I want to be prepared because I said yes, that he's going to do more of it. So if I'm too passive and I hope the horse is good, then I'm not teaching the horse, right? So sort of by omission, if I make no correction, I say, yes, do that, right? As soon as I make the correction, the second he's back where my goal is, which is calm, mentally focused, not too close, and not looking or moving away, then there's my personal space boundary. If he thinks it's a game, then I'm going to bring in my tool, right? So he took a little nip at my fingers when I used my hand. That means I might have to use a tool to say, you better mind my personal space. That's not a punishment, and it's not personal against him. It just is. I take up as much space as I want. The less I trust a horse, the more space I want, right? Then if he tries to go away, he gets a correction. That's a no. As soon as he's back, that's a yes. That's a no, that's a yes, right? That I say yes, even though he's not focused on me, he's focused behind the camera. I have to make enough corrections. I'll let that one slide. This is a yes, and I'm just waiting until he tries something else. I got no idea what he's going to try next, or he may just stay here, which is the skill I want him to develop. If I'm trying to make him stay here with the cross ties or pressure on the lead rope and halter, he never learns his job as a skill. That's the main difference between controlling or correcting.